Welcome to Access Granite Systems. My name is Adam, and I'm here to demonstrate the check-in feature of our software. We do help many organizations manage their memberships, but we do specialize in community pools. So you might be a swim club or an apartment or a city pool or an HOA. And then the way we help one client might be completely different than when we help another community. And so feel free to schedule a one-on-one demo where you get to ask us some follow-up questions, and we'll ask you some follow-up questions as well, because we do highly customize our software and our services to fit your needs. But we're going to jump into a quick overview of our check-in software. So I'm going to click on that next. And I do like to show people just from the gate attendant's point of view or your lifeguard's point of view as one of your members is walking into the pool area. So we do have John here. So John does have a pool pass. And so John's going to wander up, show his pool pass to the gate attendant, and we're going to go and scan him in. Now I do have family check-in enabled here. And so the rest of John's family does pop up. So here are the pictures to prevent any kind of pass sharing or sneaking in. So if that's not John, your gate attendant should say, hey, that's not you. You're trying to sneak in under somebody else's membership. We do have the ages pop up as well. A lot of communities do have those age policies. Maybe if somebody's under 12, they need to be with somebody over 21, so that can be enforced. But let's say that Sally is with John here, so we're going to go and check in those two members. And we did check in those two members successfully, so they have a little green check mark, meaning that they're allowed to come in. So your young staff has a little green check mark that says, yes, they can come in. If they were red for whatever reason, they might be suspended or expired, and that staff should say, no, you can't come in. You need to see membership for whatever reason. Now, we do have two people in the pool area here, so this is the occupancy, and that'll tick up as the day goes on. So from the lifeguard's point of view, it's really that simple. They go ahead and scan in the next family that wanders up. The next thing I'm going to show you, though, is what happens if somebody forgets their pool pass at home, or what if your community decides not to use passes at all. So I'm going to click on membership, and we have three search bars that quickly look somebody up. So the common one here is name, and I'm going to look for a Jessica. So I'm going to type in JES. Anything with a JES will pop up. So here's Jessica. I'm going to single click her and check her in. So she was the spouse of this family here. She is green and ready to be checked in. She's not red or anything. And she wanders in. Now we have three people in the pool area. And so we do make that search bars as quick and easy for your gate attendants to utilize. All right. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Now I'm going to kind of look at this from a management point of view as a property manager or a board member. And I'm going to click on member list. I'm going to look up Jessica's family again, but this time I'm going to type in 2010. And so anything with a 2010 will pop up. And here's our 2010 sample street. I'm going to double click on Jessica this time. And this pops you into where we manage our households. And our database is designed for families or households. And everything on that left-hand side is everything about the family. Everything on the right-hand side is the individual that lives inside of this family. So I can cycle through all three people, and the three people are also listed down below here. So one feature that most communities utilize is that expiration date. Some do set it to never, but in this case, they do have an expiration date at the end of the year. And if I do rewind the clock back to last year, so unfortunately she would be expired, she would scan in red, and she would not be able to use the facility. And then there are a couple different ways to update expiration dates. So some communities, if they pay their membership dues, some communities, if they sign up on the pool rules, but one way or the other, when that expiration date does get updated, they become active and they're allowed to use the pool again. Now, some HOAs or communities do suspend people. And so if I do click that suspend button here, this household is not allowed. So maybe they're behind on their HOA dues or they have a violation. And so that's the button for that. And if they do fix their issue, you can easily unsuspend them. And then a millisecond later, they can use the facility again. If your community does suspend on the individual level, maybe you have some unruly patrons or unruly teenagers, Sally here, I can suspend her on the right-hand side. This would suspend just the individual, not the entire family. Okay, and there's other. So the database does have a couple more features here, but we're going to skip those for now. and then move on to the statistics. And so if you like to know how busy your pool is certain days or certain times of the year, so the check-in software will keep track of those stats. And then it will also keep track of occupancy as well. So not only when somebody was checked in, but how long they stayed at the facility. So those two different features there. I'm gonna go back to check-ins. The system does have a log. That's your sign-in sheet. And then we did check in Jessica over at 2010 Sample Street. Today is September 2nd when I'm recording this. And so that's when she used the facility. So you can print out these sign-in sheets or export this log if you wish. And same thing with the statistics. You can export those as well. Now, the next topic I'm going to talk about are guest passes and some of the guest pass features. So our software does have multiple ways you can sell memberships or sell guest passes, but some communities don't sell those guest passes. They allow guests for free, and they just want a simple way to track them. So one of the most common ones is, I'm going to click over to Jessica. And let's say you're a community that does, well, she has 3 right now. I'm actually going to reset that to 4. All right. If you're a community that allows 4 guests per household per day, then you're going to utilize our virtual guest pass feature for that. Now, Jessica's already checked in, but I do want to check her in a second time. So let's say Jessica gets checked in, that 4 pops up here under available guest passes. And let's say you want to use 1 or 2 of those guest passes. In this case, we'll use 1 of those guest passes, and Jessica has a friend, so your gate attendant will check in that guest. Maybe your policy is you do want to know who that guest is. Maybe Frank Jones is a guest. We'll go ahead and record that. That guest pass was used. So her household only has 3 remaining for the day. And under log, it did log that Jessica did admit guests, and then that guest count was 1. And it was Frank that is the guest. So back over to your statistics as well. If you want to see which households are bringing in some guests, here are Sample Street guests, our households. Yeah, they do bring in a lot of guests here. Okay, and so that's one of our guest pass features. And we have a different video of selling memberships or selling guest passes. You could take a look at that other video where Jessica can kind of purchase a $5 or $10 guest pass, and then that would maybe start here, but if she buys 2 guest passes, that'll increment up to 2. But what I showed you is way a lot of communities manage those free guests. All right, and that was the quick demo of our check-in software. So it does a lot more. So I do highly recommend schedule a demo with us, and we're happy to show you around.